Hi there, welcome back. We are installing the LeLightGo LED kit for the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 Lego. I am on step number 5, or bag number 5. And I think I've mentioned this previously, but I am basically following the very static, no text photos on the website as far as how to get this installed and interpreting them and spewing out my knowledge onto the YouTube for you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to open bag number 5. And I am doing this all live except for repeatable steps that I just will speed through, but if I make mistakes, you're going to see them. Alright, so bag number 5 looks like we get another much fancier circuit board. This is probably the actual control board. It has the USB port on it, presumably for power, and yeah, all the other connections probably for the wires we've already ran. And then we've got, well, several new LEDs. Let's unstrand these, or untie these. They're all tangled together a little bit. Looks like I have 4 white plugs on this and 4 LED. Okay, yeah, so there are 4 LEDs in this little bundle that I'm holding. And I think in maybe the first kit, or the first bag, there was something similar, right? So the LEDs are actually stuck together, but they don't need to be. I'm going to make sure of that before I pull them apart, but typically they're not going to stay together. Yeah, they should not stay together. So I'm going to separate all these right now. So, okay, it's not focusing at all, but yeah, there are 2, because they all came probably from one big packet of them, and they're just separating them out. So there's 2 LEDs together. I don't know if you can see that at the very top there. It's not going to focus, but I'm just going to bend these back and forth very carefully, and they should, yep, pop off. So now I've got 2 separated LEDs with their wires. So I'm going to do that on all of these quick, so I will fast forward through this. Oh, just for the sake of noting it, there are 2 different lengths of wires. So the first group that I was doing were much shorter, and this next section is twice the length, just FYI. So I've got 4 shorter ones, and now I've got, well, just about separated 4 longer ones. And then there's also a little black wire as well. That's a single wire by itself. Right here. Okay. So it looks like in this step, we are basically going to be adding wires or lights rather to the light bars on top of the vehicle. I don't know if that's going to focus, but the blue bars, basically the flashing lights on the top. So the first picture in the video basically shows us pulling the 2 light bars off the vehicle, the front one and the back one. If I remember correctly, all you do is lift straight up. Yeah, it just comes right off. So take both of those off. Alright, put the rear one back here so I don't mix them up. I don't think there's any difference, but just in case. Oh, and actually I don't know why they have it separated. No, yeah, it should be fine. Let me try to decipher the pictures that they've got shown here, though. Okay, so they've taken off 3, so we'll take this one here. They've taken off 3 of these blue angled pieces, so this one, and this one. So this little L-shaped section of them. I'm going to do that now, if I actually can get them. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, that looks like that. You should see, the little, 3 black pieces and 1 yellow piece exposed if you're doing this correctly. And again, they don't really show it, but these look like they'd be the longer wires because they're up front. Yeah, because the control box is going to be in the rear of the vehicle. So for the front light bar, we're going to be using the longer, much longer wires with the LEDs on them. So what it shows in the picture is, first, holding it like this. So there's 3 of those things. We're going to put this one up in the middle of the upper right one and kind of run the wire. Oops, can't hold on to it. Try to do this again. Kind of run the wire in between the little nubs or whatever you want to call them. Now that that's in there, I'm going to put this piece back on. So again, facing this direction, put this over it. So now we've got an LED underneath this piece facing up. And then the next one shows the LED basically sitting right in between the yellow and black. So it'd be like right here, I believe. Let me see if I can get my camera back. So let's see, better angle. The LED would go like right here. And then we're gonna cover that back up as well. So awkward. I'm gonna set this down to do this, I think, because I need to hold the piece that I'm gonna cover it with. So we'll just set that LED right where it showed, and then clamp this down. Let's see if that's actually accurate. Oh, well, they do show. Oh, odd. Yeah, so their initial picture showed the first LED wire that I put in there as kind of going off to the left, but I think that was just for taking the photo. It's just going to come straight out and go straight down. So then I will put this back right in between the black and the yellow. Okay. So that one's there, and then now we've got 2 wires coming straight down like that, right? And then we just put the last one on. Okay, that is what their picture looks like in the PDF. So, okay, presumably we're going to rinse and repeat on the other side, but let's not assume anything. No, they don't even explain it, but yeah, I mean, that has to be what's going on. So we'll pull those other 3 off again. Instead of these 3, we'll do these 3, the opposite, right? Mirror image. Okay, so we've got that. Getting all my wires tangled here. Alright, so we'll take one LED, stick that up right in the middle there. Again, I don't know how well that's going to show, but facing this way, LED right there. And I'm going to clamp that down. Well, it moved on me, so let me set this down and do it. Okay, so that's in there. And we take the next one. Again, I'm just going to set this down because this is rinse and repeat. So set that basically between the black and the yellow again. Okay, and then just make sure it's pointing down, clamp the next one, or the last one. Okay, so we've got 4 wires coming straight down out of this. Now there is more to this. We actually have to, I guess it looks like, yeah, they're trying to hide it as well as possible. So now that we've got those 4 wires, we actually need to take those smooth little pieces, the 2 in the middle on each side, off so the wires can be hidden presumably underneath them. Let's get those 2. So again, like that, right? So we'll have, is it showing up? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do that on both sides quick. Again, I'm not looking ahead, I'm just looking at the picture, making it look like what I expect that they're thinking, and then fixing my mistakes. Okay, so that's done. Yeah, they basically want you to tuck these wires down just to the left of the, well, on the very first wire on that left side. Just kind of pull it down and then put that piece back on. So let me see if I can get that. This might be one of those situations where that wire is pretty thick. I mean, it's braided. It's 2 wires twisted together, and therefore you have the opportunity to pinch it if you really get aggressive with trying to put those pieces back. But once I get that piece back installed, if it's going to focus or not, kind of see it. But anyway, it comes out the bottom of the blue piece now. Instead of sticking forward, now it's facing down, so it'll be obscured from your eye if you're looking at it. Alright, so same thing on this side, just to the right of the little nub that it attaches to. Hold that down with my finger and replace the blue piece. Okay, so that is done on that side, and we'll just do the same thing on the other. Don't push too hard. Then you pop things up and get to do it again. Oh, it didn't come completely off. We're okay. This piece fell off, so I'm just putting it back. Alright, so that first blue piece is done. The wire is where it should be. Drop it once or twice. Okay, so all 4 wires are installed. They look pretty clean, coming straight down out the, I guess that technically would be the front, but it doesn't matter, it's reversible, so. Alright, so that's the front one with the longer wires. Let me set that aside. And funny enough, they don't even show anything for the rear other than here's the finished product with the shorter wires. So yeah, I'm just going to do the exact same thing on this one. I will fast forward through this until I get to the point of installing that white piece afterwards. So again, the rear one should not have the little black piece, right? And when I mean the black piece, like this one, the black piece came with it on the rear of the vehicle. Like they show it not having the black piece on the rear one, even though there is one. There's a black piece right there. But what they show is actually this whole thing and this little hatch piece coming with it. So I should have probably pulled that with it. Yeah, I think this is all supposed to come with it. So, FYI, got that piece here. Because I think once we get the wires for that one, we're supposed to tuck them underneath that and then reassemble it. So we'll figure that out as we go. So anyways, I'm going to put the LEDs in just like the other one. Doesn't look like there's any difference. So. And they do have, I'm not going to be able to show this easily, but they do have the wire braided for the most part, except for right where it should actually be hitting the edge of something. So it's a little bit more flat because it's not braided right there. So that's kind of nice. They got the lengths on that just about right. I don't think that's going to show it all, but there's a perfectly good twist all the way up until right where it's going in. So that lays a little bit flatter. Oops. Well, my wires came out. I guess I didn't have it clamped down hard enough. Put that wire back. Oh, I see what happened. So I didn't have it in there far enough, and because I took the little blue piece out, the wire came out with it. Maybe I needed to stick that up just a little bit further in there so it couldn't come out. Who knows? Okay, anyways, reinstall that. Of course, I'm saying that now. This one is braided the entire way, so it's going to be a little bit tighter than the other ones. Okay, so all 4 wires installed how they should be. Now, according to the video, we put this, or the PDF rather, sorry, put this upside down with the wires facing, I guess it'd be my left, which is your left too. So I'm going to set that down. Wires facing that way. And then this piece gets reinstalled. Although, boy, that is hard to tell if they wanted the wires tucked like this and then that clamps them on. Otherwise, what's the point, right? I don't see why that would be, but let's look ahead just a step. Because there's a reason why you would have one versus the other. Like, because the way that I did the wires, you've got an LED on the outer edge here, and then you've got one on the inner edge. So it depends where they actually want those as to whether this is facing this direction or if it's facing this direction. And I'm not sure what's right. Oop, I lied. They actually do show it. That's why they show that white piece. So the wires, I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but the wires are actually up here on the top edge of what I'm showing, and then they actually do tuck under that white piece and come out the back. So yeah, I'm glad I looked at that a little bit closer. They give you just enough information to be able to extrapolate what you're supposed to do. So Yeah, so that means if I have this facing this direction, these are supposed to be tucked down across this piece here, and then that white piece clamps over them. So I'm going to actually take that white piece right here, which again has the two little white pieces and the black piece in the middle. So that there's a little channel for the wires, right? You're not crimping the wires because there's a groove in between there. So basically set that into place, get the wires through the channels that are made by it. Oop. Trying to pinch one of them as I say that. Just be careful you don't pinch the wires. It's really the name of the game here. Do not pinch the really thin wires. I still think I'm pinching the wires. Let's think about this. Okay. So, got the left edge of the white piece installed. We've got that black piece in the middle. Make sure nothing is pinched between them. That side's out, and I'm off-centered. This looks really easy, but I'm struggling for some reason. I mean, it should make sense. I don't have a good way to show this on video, so apologize for that. The wires keep like coming together and it's messing with me. Trying to separate them left and right. You know what? I actually wonder, I'm gonna try leaving these wires out, clamping this down. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit. So I'm just gonna put this piece how it's supposed to be. I think there's enough. Nope, I don't get a cheat. I can't pass that through there. Darn it. Scratch that. Okay, so yeah, if I was dealing with one side at a time, it would be fine, but I feel like the outer wire needs to kind of be lifted up and away just a little bit. I don't know if that's going to show. So it doesn't get clamped, and that's on both sides. I feel like it needs to be kind of lifted up and over. The inner wires can be pulled straight down. But that's because the little white edge kind of pushes right where that should be. And I want to make sure that it goes up and around that white piece. Almost be better taping these. I don't have any tape in here. Okay, I did get it. That's a struggle. Okay, well, anyways, sorry about the really long struggle there, but I do have, the wires up top coming out the bottom, and now we're ready to do what? Yeah, flip it facing this way, and then apparently just attaching this. Yep. Okay, so then, yeah, we attach that with the wires, facing down. And now the next step they show, well, sort of, yeah, I guess installing the light bar on the front of the vehicle. But we're kind of routing the wires This might be difficult to show, so I apologize. Set the rear one aside. So we've got the front one here. It looks like, yeah, they're doing it with the car facing the other direction because they're running it along this edge here, the wiring. So I'm going to rotate this, maybe just like that. Yeah. So yeah, they have it kind of just sitting like this in the photo, just loosely. And the next step is to pull all the wires, well, underneath. I'm gonna pop this little antenna piece. So this gray antenna, just get it out of the way. So all the wires coming off of this are going to go off to the left, apparently. I'm going to clip this into place so it stops moving on me. They don't show it, but they probably did. Yeah, they did. Okay, so all those wires are coming off the left side of the vehicle, passenger side. And where are they going? They're showing us lifting this section up here. I think they kind of want the wires to be tucked underneath the black edge of this rack up top. I'm trying to see if there's a better photo showing it. It looks like you basically lift this whole edge of the rack up just a little bit and slide the wires underneath and clamp it back down. Because the wires end up coming straight out of the back on the passenger side still, but out the back nonetheless. All right, well, I'm going to try that and see what we get. Again, you can kind of see, I mean, there's light underneath here, right? So there's a gap, and all our wires are kind of coming out the left side of or the passenger side of the vehicle. If we, God, I'm assuming we can just tilt that. I'm gonna try to do this as nicely as possible. I might actually use the end of my tweezers to pop that up, just because I can get a little bit of leverage in there. That might not be the right way to do it, but actually I'm undoing the ladder over here because it's attached to it, and if I rotate it, it's in a fixed position kinda. So I don't know if you have to or not, but I'm doing that just for my own sake. I wish I had better lighting. Alright, I'm going to struggle here for a minute, so apologize. How can we do that without breaking everything? Well, yeah, like I said, I am going to use my tweezers. They're these little, like, finely tipped, angled ones. I'm going to stick them underneath the bottom edge of the brackets here, and kind of use this as a lever to pop them up. Ugh. Nope, I cannot get that to shine. Damn it. Maybe, sort of. Yeah, so I'm popping that up just a little bit. Basically, I just need to get a gap in there so I can pull the wires. And again, I'm going to disconnect this little rear wire as well, because that is also going to be in my way. This plastic gray thing. Alright, so I've kind of lifted this a little bit. I'm going to grab all my wires and try to shove those underneath. I don't really have a good way to explain this, but I'm just trying to kind of pull the wires to keep them taut and get them to slide through the very narrow opening I've created. I'm going to break this apart by doing this. Did I actually get it? The backside might be okay. This is rough. I'm sorry, guys. I can barely see what I'm doing without trying to make sure the camera can see it. Alright, well, I did get it. That's tough, though. So, on the front of the vehicle, you know, all the wires now go straight underneath. There's only two edges, but they're basically running down the center channel of the vehicle, right? Still kind of on the passenger side of it, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show you now. So on the back of the vehicle, all the wires are coming out right here. Now what we're going to do next is actually pop this curved piece here off and then hide the wires in there, apparently. So let me pull up my video. I'm sorry, I'm doing this handheld for just a second. So yeah, we popped that up. Oh, and then we took all the wires down and through a grate. This is tough to film. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna pop this piece off, and I'm gonna use my tweezers because I'm doing this one-handed. So I'm gonna pop this piece off that has the rust on it. Right there. They don't show you taking this piece with it, but I'm going to, just to make it easier on myself. Because what they want you to do is run all the wires through, let's see, through that hole right here. So this hole here. So I'm going to try to film this, but yeah, basically it'll run, I'll stick that first wire in there and I'll show you. Maybe. Oh, that's rough. Because you have this little gray piece blocking you. So I'm going to actually pull that gray piece out, because that's just a single piece. Again, I'm going to use my tweezers to try to leverage this because I'm doing it one-handed. Actually, I'm going to set the camera down and I'm going to do that quick. Oh no, can I not? Oh, that's not a little piece. That's actually a brick with a peg on both sides. Oof. How did they even accomplish that? It's like half of the circle that you have to try to slip all these LEDs in there. Let's see. Get that to focus. So you can see I'm trying to shove this LED in, or the little plug rather, it's not the LED, but the white plug through that hole. Oh yeah, you can get it. It's just really kind of tight. So that's one. So I'm going to grab my tweezers, because again, one-handed, so I'm going to pull that through. Okay, we'll just do that with each of the 4 wires. Oops, I'm not looking at the video feed here. Okay, that's 2. Getting a little tighter now because of the wires in the way. Okay, I got that plug sticking through, but I can't quite get it, so I'm going to use my tweezers. Again, can't recommend tweezers enough. Really fine tipped ones. I will put a link in the video description, like I've done on the past few videos. Okay, so all the wires are now pulled through, but just to make sure that I'm doing this exactly the way they said, they kind of make it look like this piece needs to come off a little bit, or and get these wires kind of down. I'm going to pull them tight, as tight as I can anyway. Oh, gosh. There. So kind of snug these up. I don't know if you can kind of see that pulling it tight on that edge. Okay, so those are fairly tight, and now that they are, I'm going to put this piece back, which kind of pinches them in that corner there. There you go. Yeah, so they're all kind of pinched in that corner, going through that hole. That should, it's not really putting any pressure on them, but that's what they show in the pictures. So now I've got all these wires just sticking out the top of the rear. And what's next? Now we reassemble by putting this piece back. Am I doing that right? No, I have it on the wrong piece. One second. Okay, so put this back. And the wires almost disappear. Okay. What's next? Okay, so then, all right, I'm gonna set the camera down again quick. I apologize if you're getting motion sick from doing this. I need to get an overhead camera if I'm going to do anything like this in the future. So the next thing that they're having us do involves the circuit board that came with this pack. Right, so we've got this little board with all the little plugs on the top, and then we've got the one in the middle on the bottom. Well, this little black wire that came in the kit is going to go right there. So I'm going to plug that in now. Okay, so that's plugged into the very bottom. And then there's no way for me to tell, I don't think it matters, but there's no way to tell which wire goes into which plug, but basically those 4 wires that we just ran through the back of the vehicle are going to end up in the far right 4 here. I think this is just a bridge again. So all the wires from up front and the wires from the rear piece are all going to go into this. So we'll end up probably using all 8 of them. And again, I bet they all blink at the same time. So, but anyways, it's the far right 4 that we're going to be plugging them into. So I'm going to do that now. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah. I realize you can't see that at all. It's just my hand. Okay, so I've got that circuit board here. We've got all 4 wires plugged into what would be the right side of the board. There we go. Now what? Okay, so now we're going to grab the rear piece and basically just connect them. Yeah, exactly like I said. You just basically connect them to the other 4 on this circuit board loosely, with this not installed in the vehicle yet. So we're just gonna plug all 4 of these in awkwardly, since there's nowhere for this to be. Sorry, you're gonna see my hand for most of this probably. That's 1. I think we can all figure out how to plug in wires without seeing it, but it doesn't make for good YouTube. One, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that is 4 wires plugged into the board. All 8 of those plugs are now filled. I just lost my PDF on my phone, so one sec. Okay, so yeah, we've got all the wires plugged into the board. Oh, and apparently that board gets hidden inside here, in this little white piece, I guess. Is there a sticky adhesive on the back of this, I bet? Yep, there is a little, a 3M, that little white strip on the back of this board is a 3M adhesive strip, so that'll stick inside here, I would guess. Let me read ahead. Okay, so is that right? So if we're looking at the picture correctly, the board, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They don't show it with, I mean, they show the 3M strip not being there at all, but also facing up like this, which means it's not sticking to anything unless it sticks to this black piece. Now, I don't think it's supposed to stick at all. I think you just set it in there so it's hidden, but let me struggle some more with interpreting these pictures quick. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. I mean, it doesn't show that 3M adhesive strip at all. It basically just looks like you kind of shovel the wires. Yeah, I mean, you're basically just trying to cram everything that we've just done, except for the black wire, into that little pocket, if you will, and sandwich it all up in this area. So I'm just gonna take, we're basically just gonna shove all this in here as well as possible, right? There's probably some better way to do this, but I'm just gonna try to shut this in here with all the, yeah, I didn't do anything fancy. I just kind of wedged it all up in there, and I don't see any wires at all other than the black one, which you're supposed to see. And actually, they have the door open here, so you can. This black wire should just kind of be coming out the bottom somewhere here. So I'm gonna push this down because it looks like it's where it should be. There, that's where it's supposed to be. So, I didn't have the camera where it needed to be. All the wires are hidden, except for, which you can't see it because it's black on black, but this one wire here. Okay, anyways, Let's put that down. Yep, that looks good. It looks like that black wire is supposed to go. Oh, I guess I still have that little. Get this out of the way. That black wire actually goes down below the vehicle from the inside, so that's why it's so long. I don't really have a good way to. I don't think this is going to show up, but yeah, there's that black wire is actually running right down through there, and on, it disappears behind the bumper and then comes out the bottom. So there's that little hatch that's there for dropping out the little remote controlled ghost trap. So I guess, let me look down in there. Yeah, I mean, there's a big opening in the bottom of the vehicle. So it looks like it goes out the bottom left of the vehicle, which would be the driver's side. Yeah, here we go. So is that showing up? Yeah, anyways, it's this side here. I don't really have a good way to show it, but yeah, the wire comes down and out that gap. And then what? I'm gonna reassemble these plastic pieces that I took off for a second. I don't remember where this goes. Because I feel like I need to rotate the vehicle on its side to mirror what they're doing. So I'm going to shut this door now that I don't need in there. Lay the vehicle on its side. Maybe. It's going to tip on me. Okay, we're okay. Oh yeah, and I guess I can clip this ladder back into place. There we go. Okay, so looks like they're pulling the wire tight. There's this little, yeah, you can kind of see it, this little gray piece right here. The wire kind of runs up right against that. At least that's what they show in the picture. So, and they're just pulling on it tight in that photo. How in the heck? I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. And this is going to be black on black, so it's going to be difficult to show. If I can get the light reflecting on that properly. There. So there's a hole there, just kind of in front of the gray piece. They make it look like the wire's supposed to come from the inside and come out of that hole. Unless I am completely mistaken. Or no. That can't be right. No, I'm wrong. Okay, so there is... Let me see if I can angle this. There's another piece right... Oh, I'm blocking my own light. That angled piece to the very bottom of the video right now. That's going to come off. And the wire is going to get buried underneath it. So it's just this little angled piece. Right? So I'm going to pull that wire up kind of towards the tire, and then just put this piece back. I don't really have a good way to show that because I have to do this with both hands. But anyways, we pull this wire kind of forward, and then I'm just going to put this back. I should note I have done no testing of any of the wiring whatsoever. I've not tested any of the LEDs. So this could be fun. Hopefully everything ends up working out. Okay, so again, I'm going to have trouble showing this. Maybe I can use my tweezers to point it out. Oh, actually, that's a good angle right there. So the wire is up here, right? And it looks like they want, you can barely see it, but there's a hole here. This black piece here it's Technic, right? So there's holes in it. And they want that wire to come through here, and I think go forward into this one up here as well. Like we're basically drawing it forward so all these wires kind of come together, I think right up in this area here. Because there's other wires from previous bags right here. So I think they all kind of want to meet right around there. Let me look at the photos again just to make sure, but yeah, that is absolutely what's happening. So we're actually going to pass it through 3 of them, right? So this one, and this one. So it kind of comes up and over the piece that I just clamped it in with. And then sticks through, which, yep, right next to that gear. I'm going to grab my tweezers so I can get that out of there. Okay. So now we've got our wire here. It's going through this portion so far, right here. And then we're going to continue going through the little holes in each of the support braces. Again, this is why I like my tweezers. Okay. Got that, and then one more. Okay, all those wires now meet right there. And that's just pulled nice and tight right along this edge. Okay, now what? This is a long step. So now we are going back to the previous step where we had done those blue and red lights from bag number 4. And we're going to be installing those in the vehicle. Okay, yep, that's exactly correct. All right, so I'm going to stand the vehicle back up. And we're starting on this edge here. Yeah, this edge here. And that is, so if we have this strand of lights, right? The one, so we need a blue one because that's what was there. And the one that we're going to be using is the one that has the black wire. So at the very beginning of the strand, or the end, depending on how you look at it. But the one that has the black wire and the white wire meeting. So that's the one we're going to be using. The black wire apparently faces forward, and the white wire faces the back, because the black wire is going to go into the engine bay and down and out. So, I'm going to, make sure the black wire is facing up the way that I've got this shown, and then the white wire, I'm just going to feed it through the clip here and face it out the back, and then just set that into place here. Okay, now if I can get a better angle of that. So this pulls forward and the white goes out the rear. All right, I'm not going to show that for each of these, I don't think, because it doesn't focus. But Okay, so that's one. The next step after that is to open up the hood. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so do we open the hood first? Yeah, we open the, no, I'm sorry. There's a little white piece that's just in front of here. I'm gonna have to hold the camera again. So there's one little white piece where we're gonna hide the wires under this little piece right here. Just tell me that's showing up. I don't know what I just knocked off. Oh, darn it. I accidentally knocked this off with my arm. Okay. So yeah, this little white piece is now loose. Set that aside. And then we open the hood. We're basically going to run the wire through there. So, yeah, so we just pull this black wire kind of around. And again, I'm going to use my tweezers because they're really handy to kind of position this wire in the channel where it's supposed to be. I do highly recommend you follow along, in the PDF, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But my videographer skills are kind of low. It does not want to stay down. There we go. So, yeah. All right. Close this. Yeah, so I'm going to close the hood just a little bit. That kind of pinched the wires just a little bit. It'll kind of hold it in place. No, that's a little too tight. That's tough because I want to get it just to the left edge of that peg. So when I take this piece and press it down, it doesn't pinch too bad. There. Well, technically I don't think we're supposed to see that black wire there, but I'm not going to pull that back out. It looks fine to me. Who am I kidding? That annoys the heck out of me. All right, I'm going to pop that back up. I didn't notice the wire was sticking forward like that, so I'm going to try to use my tweezers to pull that wire back a little bit. Okay, this is rough. All right, I'm going to use this piece to kind of push it back. There we go. That is better. You do not see the black wire anymore. Okay. Now that we've done that, the next step is to apparently just, I think you just drop the black wire down out the bottom of the vehicle. They don't really show it, but this is getting more awkward. So I'm blocking my light. They want the wire to kind of just, I mean, there's already a black wire from one of the earlier steps kind of dropping down through there. I think this is just supposed to go down there with it. I'm not going to worry about where it goes just yet, but I'm going to stick it. Actually, I'll worry about that after, because they don't show it yet. I'm just going to shut the hood. We'll come back to that. It does show it just coming out the bottom here, but then we don't touch it again for a while. So we'll come back to that. Once I have all the rest of these wires secured, I can move the vehicle around a little bit easier. So now, let's see, the very next blue item in the chain will go right here. And for right now, that wire is just shown as loose. I mean, there's nothing, we're not hiding it yet, right? So I'm gonna make sure that the wires are sticking out the back, so tucked underneath the clip, if that's showing. Okay, so that's there. And then grab the next one, which will be the one on the opposite side of the vehicle. Same thing, I'm going to make sure that the clip has the wires coming out of the back. This is tough to do with one hand, so I'm going to set this down. So anyways, we got this strand of wires, right? So I'm going to pull the wires out the back of the clip. Make sure that this wire on the one I already installed comes out and behind. Clip that into place. Okay, so those two are done. And that means we've got a red light and then two more blue ones. The two blue ones go on the rear. Now for the red, oh, I'm sorry. No, we don't do the red one just yet. They're having us hide the wire for the between the first blue and the second blue one that we did. So the one on the door and the one on the roof. One moment. Yeah, they basically want us to hide that wire inside the vehicle. So the overhead camera would do wonders. So this piece right here needs to come off. I'm just going to pop that up. Okay, so it looks like that. It's all washed out. Not going to focus. Oh, whatever. So we've got this little open section now. So this door needs to be open. The front door needs to be open. So the wire is kind of, just loose in here, right? And then this wire is supposed to, let me reference this again. Yeah, the wire just kind of comes down and then try to position this how it's supposed to be with the tweezers, maybe. It's supposed to kind of sit down like that. If it's going to focus or not. Basically, the wire should be down past the first two gray nubs and then kind of come out towards the door. That's really tough. I'm going to try to get this positioned and then I'm going to set the camera down. I'm going to get it where it's supposed to be, I think, and then I'll hold the camera up to it. This is a two-handed job. Okay, that is how they have it pictured in the PDF. So now that that's presumably the way it's supposed to be, so we got that. Yeah, then you just reinstall that piece, right? So now that that's where it's supposed to be, I put that white piece back, which now means we've got a wire kind of coming down inside there. Yeah, they don't really show you doing anything with it. You're basically just trying to kind of tuck that out of the way as good as possible, and then now you shut your door, and voila, it sort of disappears. Not entirely, but it's not like you can make wires 100% disappear. So that is gone. It's possible I didn't leave enough slack, and maybe it would have disappeared a little bit more along the door edge. I don't, God, yeah, I think it might be. I'm gonna pop this up again quick. Because it looks like there's a little bit of slack up here. I could have pulled that a little tighter before pushing it through the gray portion. Yeah, let's... Sorry, guys. I was just happy to get it into place where it needed to be, but didn't pay attention to the fact that I was giving up a lot of extra wire. Okay, so I've got less slack now. I don't know if that's going to focus or not, but I'm going to put that piece back on. I feel like I'm kind of pinching the wires a little bit here. I don't know. No, it's okay. All right, so yeah, now the wire kind of sticks down a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Oops, the camera moved on me and I didn't notice. Okay, so I've got that wire pretty well hidden. I mean, you do see it if you look through the quote-unquote glass, but now it's not hanging outside the door frame really at all. So that's much better. Let's see, what's the next step? So now that we've done that, then we go to the top of the vehicle where we lift that light bar to hide the wire from the red light. Because that red light goes... the red light goes right here. So we have to get the wire underneath here in order to clip that on. So I'm going to lift this up. Again, I can't do this with without my hands free, so I'm going to lift this light bar up, pull this red wire under, and then just clip it back down. All right, so it's that easy. So pop the one side up, and then now we've got our red light here. Again, I'm going to try to get the wires coming out the back of the clip. Well, the ones that are going to continue on go out the back of the clip. The ones that are coming from the front of the vehicle are going to stick out the front. Okay, so now we've got this other wire coming out the back. And then after we do that, the wire actually comes out well, yeah, I mean kind of out the front here underneath this black piece. Let's see. Yeah, it sure does. Maybe I was wrong for trying to pull that wire out the front or out the back of this red clip. Ah, the black piece came with it. One sec. The piece that it clips into came out when I lifted it, so put that back. Yeah, so I think on this red one, we'll just keep all the wires facing forward. I'm going to clip that into place. And then now that that's free, we can kind of come around the front here and go under, I guess. 1 second while I look ahead. I need to turn this to the side. Yeah, it definitely comes out the front, goes underneath that left side of that black little pointy piece that's making up the rack. And they do have the ladder disconnected. They've got the blue hoses disconnected. And we're going underneath. Yeah, so we have to go underneath the ladder and those blue hoses, hence them being disconnected. And then we're just plugging in the lights into the roof. So, okay. So yeah, we'll just unclip the ladder. Swing that up. I don't remember how these were in here. Yeah, you just pull up on the blue hose, I guess. No, that's what should have happened. The black piece comes with it. Okay, so those are loose. Now this can go underneath all of that. I'm going to put these back. Okay. So now we've got these lights hanging out the back, and I don't think I really need to show this, but basically we're just going to be tucking the wires and plugging them into their respective spots. There's only 2 spots, and they're very obvious. Okay, so that white wire is visible, but it kind of tucks all the way along the edge of the frame. And then now we've got those 2 lights plugged in, so the wire just kind of follows along there. I can probably hide that a little better maybe, but no, I'll see if I can adjust it or if they have us do anything, but for right now it looks fine to me. You can definitely see that from the side. They don't talk about hiding it. I mean, you could probably do what we did on the other side and lift this frame up and tuck it underneath, but I don't know how much to worry about that. Nah, it'd be a really minor thing, so I'm not going to let my OCD get in the way. Okay, so those are done. Oh no, they are going to have us do that. This stage 5 never ends. Okay, so yeah, we are going to do just like we did on the other side with all the red wires. We're going to lift up the frame ever so slightly and basically tuck that white wire underneath, which means I jumped ahead by reattaching the ladder and the blue hoses. So I'm going to pop those off again. Okay. Ladder and the blue hoses are loose. And I think last time when I did this, I just used my tweezers to kind of use it as a lever to pry this up, but yeah, that's exactly what it did. Okay, so let's do that on both sides. So now that rack is lifted up. And again, I'm just using my tweezers because I'm going to grab that wire. My hands are too big to fit in there, so I'm going to grab these wires and kind of push them past the point where I've disconnected the rack on both front and back. Make sure you grab both the wires. That's tougher than it looks. Maybe I can do this with my fingers. Nope, that's tough. Alright, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to switch hands here. Alright, almost got it. I mean, technically this is a very easy concept. It's just hard to show it, and it's actually hard to do because the wires are, separated. They're not braided together. So you get one through and then the other one pops back out. Although I think I got it. Yeah, I did. Okay, we're good. Okay, so again, it's hard to show, but that wire is now mostly hidden. You can just see it a little bit around the back edge here, but it's white on white, so it doesn't really matter. Let me check the photos again. Okay, yep. Now we are safe to reassemble the blue hoses. Okay, the ladder is back installed as well. And this is, just a step that never ends. So now we're going back. Yeah, so I have to go back and finish what I didn't do earlier in the engine bay by getting that wire to come out the bottom. So I just have it kind of tossed in here, but we need to stick that down and out the bottom of the engine bay just like the other wire was. Again, let's see if this isn't actually making it down there. Yeah, that's really hard to film, but I basically got this wire, let's see, here, going down straight down the engine bay, right around that yellow piece, all the way straight down and out. And then underneath, I don't know if it came out the right way, but it's right there by the gear, kind of sticking out to the left. So we're going to rotate the vehicle on its side according to the photos. Okay, so I set this down. So yeah, we've now got that wire coming down and out. Did I do it on the right side of the panel? Okay, so no, I didn't quite do that correctly. It's going to be hard to show, but I need the wire to come out on this side. So it'd be the top edge of this black bar, and I have it coming down just inside, which is right next to that gear, and you don't want that. So I'm going to grab it with my tweezers and pull it back up and out from this view. Of course, it got snagged on the gear. It's exactly what I didn't want to do. Twice. Okay. So now it's coming out on top of this bar here. And it looks like we're going to run it along the length of the frame. I can't quite tell. Okay, so let's see. We got two blue pieces. Let me see if I can tilt this and get that on camera as well. maybe. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to run it along the length of the frame here until the hole that is in the frame just in front of the first rear blue piece. So it'll be the hole right here. I think, is that correct? No, I'm sorry. There's a blue one, another blue one, there's a black one, and it's the hole in front of the black one that we're going to send the wire through. Yeah, so blue, blue, black, and then there's a hole that's free right in front of that, and that's where the wire is going to stick through. So I'm going to just grab that with my hands and feed it through. Sorry if my hand's in the way. I'm just trying to get this. Okay, so that's done. Next. Yeah, so after we've done that, yeah, we pull it through. Let's see how that looks on the video. Okay, yeah, so we pull it through. It's right here, right? That comes through these two that are joined together, and then we're going to stick it through the one that's here. There is, I'm not going to be able to film it probably, but there's another hole right here on this bar that we need to stick this wire towards the rear of the vehicle through. So it doesn't look like it's looped or anything. I think we're just literally pulling it through there. So again, tweezers. Hopefully that showed up on the video. I was not looking. Now that we've got that through, oh, they do want us to loop it to make sure it keeps the top edge tight. So kind of pull on that. I'm going to move it back over this piece and send it back through again. So again, I'm going to try to use my tweezers. Okay, so that's going to be extremely hard to show, but yeah, it went through, looped back, and pulled back through again. So it should be nice and fairly tight along this edge up here. You shouldn't really be able to see it anymore from the outside if the vehicle's sitting on the wheels. Now that that's done, that is it. So yeah, whew, that was a long step. So yeah, that's it for bag number 5. Next we'll move on to bag number 6. I thank you for watching, and obviously if you feel like it, go ahead and like and subscribe. I don't really do many videos, but if I do, hopefully someone finds them interesting. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.